interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special late night edition of Vikings Uncensored. Appreciate all you guys joining us on a late Thursday evening here. Drew, Ant, Dave, Ryan, Nurse, Two-Toned, all you guys, good evening. Welcome to the show. We're a full week into the 2025 NFL training camp, and I just lost Brunswick. There he is again. And the pads, of course, went on Monday, and a lot of stuff going through. And, of course, the standard run-of-the-mill Viking social media overreactions. So we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff tonight and talk some people off the ledge, maybe push some other people off. I don't know. We'll decide when we get to that point. But
Nice.
We got some news, though, we're going to hit first off here before we get into the training camp stuff. The biggest thing, of course, this week, Josh Metellus got his contract extension. We talked about this a bit last week, but Metellus signs a contract extension, a 3-year, $36 million deal.
Yeah, I was seeing this coming though. I wasn't worried about this at all whatsoever with getting him signed to an extension. Yeah, Trey Lance actually looked pretty good tonight.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but I heard he did well. Bob, good evening. We talked about this last week. We figured the Metellus deal was going to get done before camp was over, and lo and behold, 3 days later, after we talked about it, done, and done. Then saw some of the messages. Metellus is gotten pretty big on posting on Twitter X, so he's a pretty good follow. If you don't follow him, make sure you go do that. But he put a comment out the other day, they said the people of Minnesota deserve to win a championship, and it's my job to help make sure that happens. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be putting everything I have into helping to bring that trophy to Minnesota. So that's always good to hear. Anyway, I know it's
absolutely.
Two-Toned. We coming to Skullfest? I do not know yet. Kind of hard to see. I have to look at the schedule and see what's what and where. And I'd like to, if I'm going down, I'd like to go down for the game too. And being it's on a Monday night, or Sunday night football. Sorry on that one. The 4-hour drive to be back to work the next morning makes it a little hard, but we will see what happens when we get a little bit closer to that point. Be able to tell better with the schedule. So, but if you guys happen to be down in the cities for that, I've heard it's a great time. A lot of great Vikings content creators show up for that, and it's a good party and everything else. So make sure you do check it out if you are down there. But We did make another signing this afternoon as well. Big time, big time.
Oh yeah, big
Uh,
time signing.
the Vikings signed offensive lineman Matt Nelson and waived defensive lineman Alexander Williams with an injury designation. Uh, Nelson was an undrafted free agent for the Lions in 2019, started 14 games from 2020 to 2023, and then was with the Giants in training camp last year and was part of the final cuts. So it was out of the league last season. And
Not a household name at all by what so means ever.
no, but he does got. I mean, he does have starting experience there. So I mean,
Right.
in I think it was 22. I think it was 21 or 22. He started 11 games. So yeah,
Hmm.
Drew, we're going to get into that one in just a little bit here. Plenty of good discussion to be had on that one. I know there's people losing their ever loving flipping minds, but again, we'll try to talk these people off the ledge there. A couple other things. Uh, Pittsburgh Steelers released our old buddy Cordero Patterson on his day off.
Got fired on his day off.
To Patterson's credit, though, he had a sense of humor about it. He actually broke the news on Twitter about it. You know, he put out a tweet that said, the Steelers have released old and slow Cordero Patterson on my flipping day off or whatever it was. So,
And then of course you got some of the fan base. Oh my God, bring him back, bring him back. No,
yeah. No,
no.
Patterson, what, 30,
I think he's 35.
35 now. Yeah. Again, familiar name syndrome and all. Oh my God, he was, good as a kick return and this stuff like that 10 years ago. And
Right,
a lot happens to an NFL player in 10 years.
right. 35 is not a young buck in the NFL by no means.
No. But to Patterson's credit, he carved himself out a decent career.
I think he holds the NFL record for touchdowns on kick returns.
Yeah. And then, we tried him out at wide receiver. Here he actually turned out to be a much better running back than he was a wide receiver. But, he was a gadget guy, but, there's places for that.
Arguably, it has a Hall of Fame resume, in my opinion. So
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but
you can go back and look at the stats. To me, he's got pretty darn close to it, making a good argument for it.
I mean, with the kick and punt return stuff, yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, there have been
if Hester can get in.
Yeah, Devin Hester made it in as a punt returner, so I guess it's possible. But again, if Patterson got in before Jim Marshall, I'd be a little upset. But
of course.
Then one other news thing I want to hit here before we get into the camp notes. This is non-Vikings related, but it did come out earlier this week that Deion Sanders had been battling, I believe it was bladder cancer. And
wow.
I guess he said that they think they have it all. He's good to go, and he does plan on coaching this year. So
good.
All the pomp and everything else that comes with Deion Sanders aside, wish him the best, and hopefully they did get it taken care of.
Yeah.
Drew
I agree, Dave.
Drew doesn't seem to agree with your analysis there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Lions that suck tonight anticipate significant regression for the Kitties this season. I agree with that, Dave. I mean, we're going to find out.
Window is shut. I think it is shut. I think it's slammed shut after last season in that divisional round.
It may not be nailed shut yet, but I mean, it's down, and
they'll still be competitive.
And somebody's painting over the window right now. But
right, they'll still be competitive. But if they wanted a shot, it was last season or the year before.
Well, I think we're going to find out very quickly this year that the reason why the Detroit Lions were successful was because of Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, not because of rah-rah, bite your kneecap off, dipshit Dan Campbell.
speaking of Ben Johnson over there in Chicago, making Caleb Williams look like complete trash.
Caleb's
He
doing
just
that on
can't.
his own.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he just can't comprehend. Not Ben Johnson, but Williams just can't handle that playbook that Johnson's throwing at him right
No,
now.
because and I forget who it was, if it was Orlovsky or if it was one of the bigger name people on, that is out there. It's said basically straight out, and we've kind of echoed this before, was that Ben Johnson's offense is a very structured, very on task type of offense, and Caleb Williams has never played like that in that kind of an offense. His has always been that freelance,
Yep.
go around hero ball, sandlot football kind of stuff. And
He does not have the brain of Goff by any means to be able
no,
to run an offense like that. I mean, Goff is based on his whole game is structure.
right.
You
And
know,
I mean, not to say that Caleb Williams couldn't figure it out, but he's going to
right?
have to. He's going to have to change his entire mindset, because his entire mindset, the entire time he
It's
was
going
at
to take time.
USC and all that stuff before that, it was, hey, I'm going to go out there and play hero ball. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to run around in circles for 10 minutes and then throw heave it up deep downfield. And by that time, the cornerbacks are tired and the wide receiver catches the ball and yada, yada,
Right.
yada.
I don't know if Ben Johnson's going to like that type of
No,
play.
I mean, Ben Johnson is,
to execute his offense, it needs to be on routine and structured, like you were mentioning earlier.
yep. And he's running that training camp like a freaking drill sergeant. I mean, he's booting players off the field when they fuck up.
The rookies. I think Burden's been, or Luther Borden, yeah?
Yeah,
He's been booted twice now at training camp.
Yeah, he got
for not
sat down
lining
a
up
couple
right.
of times. Caleb Williams got sat down a couple of days ago. The entire starting offense got told to go sit down and let the other day because they played so bad. But I'm here for it. I'm loving to seeing the dysfunction in Detroit,
Both
the
Detroit
calamity in
and
Chicago.
And then Green Bay, I mean, they think they're going to the Super Bowl over there. So
They do that every year.
They got a fucking a converted receiver starting at cornerback over there in Green Bay right now in training camp.
Uh-huh.
Bo Melton?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is,
Melton was the ones on defense at corner, and he played fucking receiver.
Yeah, and he was one of their better receivers last year, and then they moved him over. Now he's playing.
If people want to look at our secondary and laugh, you go take a look at Green Bay's, and you'll see worse. I have confidence in what we have here for our secondary.
And I think that's kind of a good segue to kind of get into the training camp notes here. Of course, if you read social media, the offense and everything, everybody's losing their minds because, oh my God, the offense has not looked good the first couple of days in full 11-on-11 drills.
With that being said, Rhino, I truly believe, over the years that we've been watching this team, I mean, I've been watching these guys for 20 plus years. And every so often we get this defensive line that's supposed to be the great defensive line. And a lot of times it's been underwhelming, I believe. We get these guys that come in, and I know there's been a few times that I've been so excited about our defensive line and who we got coming in. But this year, I truly believe this defensive line is going to cause a lot of quarterbacks problems. I mean, we're going to be, I think that we're going to be sitting right there below the purple people eaters as far as pressure goes on the quarterback.
Well, and the thing of it is, everybody is all bent out of shape about the offense. At this point in time in training camp, the defense is usually ahead of the offense. Yeah. Especially when you've got a new quarterback, when you've got, a new offensive line, you've got all of that stuff in there. But the defense has looked absolutely, I mean, Flores has all of his guys that he wants in there now.
That defensive line is blowing up everything right now in training camp. And I don't think it says much to the offensive line. I just think they're that good.
Yeah. Well,
I just think they're that good. And it's only I've been hearing this a lot this week. Iron sharpens iron, and I believe that's true.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know earlier today I saw a video clip. Hargrave blew up Ryan Kelly and it unfortunately ended up knocking J.J. McCarthy over because he came through so fast. I mean, it looked like Garrett Bradbury snuck back in there for a play again, but
that was my same thought too when I seen that play as well. Yeah, but no, it's just This defensive line is going to be scary, and I have a feeling it's going to probably be one of the best in the league, if not the best defensive line in the league.
Well, I say, I mean, if we get the Hargrave that played on that Super Bowl team for the 49ers a couple years ago, watch out. Reggie's in here. Good evening, Reg. Good long time no see, my friend. But yeah, back onto the defense. Jonathan Gennard has been a man possessed the first couple of weeks here, or first couple of practices.
So has his protege as well, the one he took under his wing in Dallas Turner. People want to sit here and bitch and moan about Dallas Turner last year, and we've had faith in Dallas Turner since he stepped on the field. Whenever the kid gets a chance to get on the field, he makes something happen.
Yeah.
It's just he didn't have the snaps that we would have liked to have seen last year, but that's what happens when you got two All-Pros in front of you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, they're moving him around a lot. There's been quite a bit of times when they actually have all three of them on the field at the same time. And we saw some of that last year when Pat Jones was out there too, but Turner has been out there. They're lining him up in several different spots. They've had him play off-ball linebacker. They've put his hand in the dirt. They've had him out.
It's going to cause offensive coordinators headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And with what Dave just said there, the Flores Forge D is now 3 years old. It's just like Metellus had a good quote this week saying that they're almost masters of this defense now.
Yep. Well, yeah, because they're going
to be able to. You're going to be able to completely open up that defensive playbook and run whatever you like out of whatever Flores has in his little spell book there. So,
and he keeps making up new stuff.
Little wrinkles, yeah. You got safeties coming down to play corners and corners dropping back to play safety. All sorts of just shit that just confuses the hell out of offensive coordinators.
Yep.
You don't know who's doing what or who's going where on that defense.
No. And like I said, now that you've got actual guys who can get interior pass rush with Allen and Hargrave, it's...
If we can get... This is kind of continuing to go on the defense here. If we can get Jeff Okudah to play up to that number 3 pick, which by all accounts, it's looking like he's having a fantastic camp. This defense is the sky is the limit.
Yeah,
for this defense.
I read something the other day where they actually had to tell Okudah to dial it back a little bit because he's been a little overly aggressive, I guess.
And the thing is, he was a hell of a college player, and it could all be, your product of whatever system that you're in. Coming into Detroit when Detroit was not the greatest team in the league and trying to learn in Detroit, and then going on to the Falcons who weren't that great, and then to the Texans last year, and then he's had a couple of years where he's been injured. Maybe he comes into the right system here with Flores, and he's the prototypical type of corner that Flores likes to have.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he turns the page,
Well, yeah, because he's that tall, lanky corner that's got some size to him. That we really haven't had. We thought we had it last year when we drafted Kyrie Jackson.
The one thing that we've been really complaining about. The one thing that we've been really been complaining about the last couple of years, Rhino, is the speed at the cornerback position. Mm-hmm. We've been bringing in these veteran guys the last few years that just don't have that athletic ability. Well, they got the athletic ability, but just not the speed, that we need there at cornerback with some of these guys. And the corners that we have right now, they're top notch when it comes to speed, athleticism. It's just putting it all together and seeing what can happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, Isaiah Rodgers has been dealing with a little bit of a undisclosed injury. I guess I didn't hear, and maybe somebody else heard what it was, but he was dealing with something injury-wise. He was kind of working off the side. Now, it sounded like he was starting to work himself back in again today, so I think he's good to go. The other day, Nudie McGlothern showed up pretty big. Was it
hell of a training camp for Nudie so far?
Yeah, what was it? Monday's practice, I think, or Monday or Tuesday. He's had an interception.
Consecutive practices. He's had the pick in 3 consecutive practices. Yeah.
Yep. And then plus that other one that he tipped up in the air and Jay Ward intercepted it. So he's been showing up really well.
By all accounts, Maya Bond's still looking good.
Yet.
I look for it. I look for it to be Rodgers, Okudah, Murphy, Blackman, McLaughlin, and Vaughn to be our cornerback room headed into the season. That's my call right there as far as that goes.
Yeah, Zemiah Vaughn has looked really good so far. He's been running up with the twos. He even got a couple of plays in with the ones here a couple of days
Yes.
ago. The guy, he's got, again, size and speed, what Flores wants in a cornerback.
And being able to complement the defensive line into the secondary is going to be huge this year, especially if you can get that pressure on that quarterback right away and force that quarterback to make quick decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Nudie has always been a ball hog, going back to the Razorback days.
Yep. So I like what I'm seeing out of the cornerbacks so far.
We're beginning to see what this coaching staff's seen going into the draft and the offseason, and why we haven't brought any big names in.
Right.
When you go and you get these guys, Moneyball with Quessy, with a lot of these guys, you go and get these guys that have that potential to have great seasons that really haven't panned out so far, and you get them in and get them some good coaching in the right system, and then they can turn the leaf.
Yep. Well,
I mean, there's been a handful of reclamation projects here in the KOC era that I've absolutely loved. So
yeah, and I mean, and Akuda's a prime candidate for that. Coming in and early results are looking really good there. Isaiah Rogers, as we talked about before, that was the guy that Flores was pounding the table for in free agency. And I love his enthusiasm. Anyway, he came out the other day and someone had asked him about what he expects for the year. He said 15 interceptions. So
15 picks. That would be an NFL record right there. And I think the closest anybody's gotten since Dick Night Train Lane, yeah, I knew that, has been the dude from the Diggs. Trevon Diggs from Dallas had 12 back here a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So he said 10, he said 10 minimum, but I'm going to push myself to get 15, he said, or something like that. So, and that was one of the reasons why he signed. He said he had signed here too, is because he saw, all the interception opportunities that Murphy got last year, and knowing that he would be,
Murphy had
able to
6
get in.
or 7 last year.
Yeah. One main weak spot in this team, what do you think it would be? I mean, it's a little early to tell yet. I mean, everybody was talking
special teams punt returner. Punt returner is huge to me. I mean, it's a facet of the game, and we haven't had a good punt returner since Marcus Sherrills. I mean, I'm waiting to see what we do with the return game. I know that's not a sexy answer for you, Drew, but that return game's got to pick it up for me.
Right now, it's kind of a rotating door there, but the guys that probably have a chance to make the roster that have been doing most of it is Silas Bolden and Rondale Moore have been the two main guys. Miles Price has been doing
quarterback is a good option too, and that's great. That's a great answer.
Yep. We can talk about that while we're at it here right now. Again, it's early. We're only a week into training camp, so let's not get too carried away here yet. But Sam Howell, by all accounts, has struggled quite a bit. Alec Lewis from The Athletic put out his preliminary 53-man roster prediction, and he actually has Sam Howell not making the team right now. He has Brett Rippon as quarterback too.
That might get his.
And Lance is froze up again. Anyway, while we're froze up there a little bit.
I'm good. I'm
good? I'm back. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Sam Howell, Judd Zolgad kind of did a report on that the other day when I was listening to him. He said processing and ability to make decisions with the ball out there, he said he's really slow at it. So I don't know if he's just having a little trouble coming up with KOC's
I would hate
offense,
to have to swing another trade for a backup quarterback, Rhino. I would hate to have wasted 2 draft picks on picking up a backup when we went and we threw one out there for Howell. I don't like that at all
And
whatsoever.
no, AJ, I'm sorry, no. Besides, you'd have to take on a bunch of Kirk's contract, and again, we get right back to that same damn thing where you're screwing up your salary cap because you're paying another 20 some $1 million to, or whatever the Vikings would end up having to cover of Cousins' contracts.
I actually thought about that too, Ant. Why not throw out a pick for Trey Lance? But like I said, I'd really rather not have to throw another draft pick for a backup quarterback out there.
Yeah, and I mean, if Trey Lance
Carson
plays,
Wentz, come on. I mean,
Wentz is still out there. I mean,
yep.
Atlanta's not going to cut Kirk at this point in time. They already paid him his bonus money and stuff. They'll keep him as a backup unless, for the simple, at least up until the trade deadline where, somebody's quarterback goes down and they get desperate to throw a draft pick out there to go get him to try to save the season.
And I think the best thing for Brosmer right now is sitting a year at least at quarterback 3. I don't think he's ready for that quarterback 2 role, and I don't think we can rely on him as a quarterback 2 right now.
I don't either.
Am I rooting for him, Ed? Yes, I am. I don't have the heart on like you do for Brosmer, but I would like to see him at least sit in the quarterback 3 spot for this season before we elevate him to that. I think he has all the potential to be a great quarterback 2 in this league at some point, but throwing him into the fire at quarterback 2 right now and putting that on his plate is too much of an ask as far as I think.
I mean, honestly, depending upon how he looks during preseason games, he might even be a practice squad guy this year. But
I don't even think he makes a practice squad. If we I don't think we can sneak him onto there. I think somebody comes and grabs him.
Hard to say. I mean, probably have a. Yeah. I mean, if he shows out in training camp, then you probably would run a better chance of getting Rip into the practice squad. But
I could see maybe come week 8 or week 9, maybe being able to elevate Brosmer to the quarterback 2 at that time. But then hopefully by that time you have your quarterback 2 figured out. So I just don't think he's ready.
And realistically, let's hope we don't have to worry about who the quarterback 2 is, except for handing the ball off a few times when we're up by 30 points in the fourth quarter.
In the last decade, that quarterback 2 spot has come back to haunt us somewhat. In the last 10 years, it seems like. So let's just pray to Odin that we can just go the whole year with McCarthy at the helm. So that's possible, but I think Indy would hang on to him.
Yeah, and everybody's coming after Brosmer. That's why he was an undrafted free agent. So, but anyway, like I said, it's early yet. And this is not the time to overreact, unless you're on Viking social media. Then, yes, we must overreact about everything that is said for the fight every 30 seconds. Oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. But, be that as it may. What else do we got here? Of course, Justin Jefferson.
I think that offensive line is going to be just fine. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be just fine. I think what this defense is making our offense look like is going to all pan out at the end of the day, and it's going to be better for both sides.
Yeah.
So,
I'm curious to see what the depth at the offensive line looks like.
Me as well. At this point, I had high hopes for Rouse. He might end up being one of the odd guys out.
I don't know. School the other day got schooled by Grenard. They said Grenard absolutely ate him up in 11 on 11s the other day. So, I mean, the starting 5 I'm not concerned with. They said Robinson's having
you guys
a very.
Want Sanders to say that.
What's that?
AJ's comment there.
Oh.
By all accounts, Shadur's looking good in Cleveland right now at training camp. So.
Yeah, I still don't want him.
I don't either. But you got to get credit where credit's due. He's looking good over there in Cleveland. 9 for 9 the other day with 2 touchdown passes. That's pretty damn good. So
yeah, but he's practicing against Cleveland, so
that's true too. That Cleveland defense is pretty good though too. So
well, I mean we'll see that they kind of took a little bit of a step back last year, but who else we got? Yeah, like I said, Justin Jefferson still out. They're taking their time with him. Kevin
And
O'Connell
why
came out
not?
today and said,
He's a superstar. He's an elite player. He's not. He's one of those players right now. Is what 5 years into the league. He really doesn't not. He doesn't need a lot of.
"No, the only downside of it is he's not getting the reps with
Yeah,
McCarthy that but he was never going to play in any of the preseason games anyway." And KOC said he has absolutely zero concern about him not being ready for week 1. So
right.
that's the biggest thing. Let's see
And it
what
sounds
else.
like we're only going to see McCarthy for one half all preseason. So
Yeah, it won't even be a full half. I'm guessing it'll be a series or two.
I could
Yeah,
see a quarter and a half.
I think in that first game, if he goes out, looks really sharp, and leads a touchdown drive, they'll shut him down at that point in time.
That
Now,
could be. That could be. I could see that. Yeah. Why not?
if he struggles a little bit, or they go 3-4 plays and then sputter and go out, then I would say he probably gets a second series. But
9 days away.
yep. So be prepared to see a lot of Sam Howell and Brett Rippon and
Rosmer.
Ants Crush Boy there.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I could see Rippon getting a whole second half 1 week, and then Brosmer getting a whole second half the next week, and then there we go into the regular season. So I think Howell's gonna get a lot of playing time to see. Do we need to bring in another guy back up? So
Yeah, I mean they're going to have Howell most likely will play most of the. I mean, first game McCarthy's going to get his couple of series. Howell will play the rest of the first half. I would assume maybe into the third quarter, and then the other two will split the second half more or less. I would think, and then of course game 2, game 3, Howell will start, and the other two will play after that. But some other guys that have kind of stood out so far. Wide receiver Jeshwan Jones has been drawing some pretty good reviews. The way it sounds, he's he had some highlights last year. When he came in as a
yeah,
UDFA
he
rookie,
did.
and now he's turning a few heads. They said he's maybe making a push to get in there. If they keep a sixth wide receiver. Here's some takes about September 8th when it matters. We'll talk about September 8th when we get a little bit closer to things, Drew. We're going to beat the Bears, and that's all there is to it. So
Fleming has looked pretty good too at receivers for an
Fleming has
undrafted
looked
guy.
okay.
Urasek's looking pretty good at tight end. He's looking.
Yeah, I think
it might be a battle for that tight end 3 spot.
I think Urasek's got the inside line to it right now because Bartholomew is still on the PUP list.
Right.
So I mean, there is a very distinct possibility that Bartholomew, probably ends up missing the first 6 weeks of the season if
You put him on the
dealing with a
IR.
back issue.
Yeah, you put him on the IR.
Either onto IR or if he's on the PUP list, when the season starts, he has to miss the first 6 games or whatever it is. But, I think Urasek has the inside track right now to be that tight end 3. He's at least getting ahead of the game a little bit. Nympha, good morning. The Filipino fan club is in the house. Another big injury report I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about that. Losing patience. Yeah, I know, Drew. We all want football, but
since the end of last season, this has been the longest off season in a while. I just could not wait. I just can't wait for that week 1 game.
Yeah,
I love that's a Monday nighter too.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of storylines going into this first game for us.
JJ McCarthy's coming out party on national TV against the number 1 pick and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's
childhood favorite team when he was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
From the area,
and then you have the whole thing, where the Bears said the other day that they strongly considered taking JJ McCarthy first overall, and Caleb Williams saying that he wanted to come to Minnesota and all that. Yeah, there's plenty of storylines there, but the one other big news item injury-wise that I forgot to bring up earlier is heard today that Christian Darrisaw is going to start working his way into the 11 on
He's
11
he's
drills.
taken part in some team drills already this
Yeah,
past
he
practice.
hasn't gotten into the live action yet, but it sounds like if not this weekend, by like Monday, he's going to start.
And that looks really good for the week one possibility of him slotting in there.
Yep. I think he's going to be ready, unless he suffers a setback during
He'll be
camp.
ready
I
to go
think
week
he's going to be
one.
ready to go week one. I think we will have our starting 5 guys out there. Will Fries has been playing or running with the ones for most of this week already, so he's good to
Oh,
go.
I got a little tweet here I seen the other day, and this is kind of going back to the defense. I
Okay.
kind of want to hit this before I forget. And it's from Regat, one of my favorite guys that is on the beat for the Vikings. That's Will Regatz. I know you love Will too.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings were number 2 in defensive DVOA and opponent EPA per play last year, despite having Jihad Ward and Jerry Tillery as our top 2 interior pass rushers. Now we have Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. I don't know if we're talking about that enough.
Yeah. That's a very, very good point. I mean, the fact that we have 2 legitimate interior pass rushers now instead of just throwing a bunch of jags out there.
Bullard, Tillery,
Mm-hmm.
Ward. I think. Oh yeah, Ward went to the Titans. He was in for a visit, but it ended up with the
Yeah, he
Titans.
ended
But
up going to the Titans.
when you have just a group of guys that you just throw together and you're able to go out there and have success, but then you go and you get guys that have proven themselves in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is going to be a hell of a defense. So.
Yeah. What has Donovan Jackson been doing? Sounds like he's having a pretty
I've heard
solid camp.
solid. I've heard one word was solid.
Yep.
Solid camp for Donovan Jackson.
Yep. So no big mess ups. Nothing. He hasn't. Wow. Oh my God. This is. But he's been solid. And he's been steady, and that's all you can ask right now. And he's progressing well. So that's the biggest thing. What else we got here? We talked about McGlothern with his interception streak he's been going on. The defense, like we talked about a little bit to start the show, has been ahead of the offense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But that's not uncommon at this time of the year. People are freaking out, like we said, about the fact that they're beating the hell out of the offense right now. So I forget who.
To fuck with this year. I have a lot of belief in that defensive line.
Yeah, I forget who it was that said this on Twitter, so I apologize for not properly crediting, but it was one of the beat guys. But he said, and it made a lot of sense. If he would be more concerned right now if the offense was kicking the shit out of the defense than the other way around, because that would spell problems for our defense this year. But
and the thing that the depth along that defensive line, to going off of Anthony's comment here, has been fantastic with Jalen Redmond, Drake Rodriguez, Tyrion Ingram Dawkins has been having a hell of a camp as well.
Mm-hmm. They've had him in there. I mean, he's running ahead of guys like Taki Tiamani and some.
Yeah, he's running with the twos.
Here a couple of years. Yeah,
he's running with the twos. He could be that Daniil Hunter type of guy, but at the inside tackle position, where
they've been using them. When they've been getting to the obvious passing down stuff. If they run with their, they've been pulling Harrison Phillips out and actually putting him in to as an interior pass rush guy. So,
right, that's what I'm saying. We took a flyer on Hunter, and he panned out better than anyone could have imagined. I have a feeling that could be the same situation here with Ingram Dawkins.
Yeah,
but at
it's
the defensive tackle position.
Very possible, and the Vikings have historically been able to find very good defensive tackles in all areas of the draft. I mean, you got guys who are drafted high, like Kevin Williams. You got undrafted free agents like John Randall, Keith Millard. A lot of these guys that have come through, and of course, back to the Purple People Eater days. But it's it's refreshing to see, because that was one of the big sources of frustration I've had with the defense in particular the last several years is we didn't have that dominating defensive line that the Vikings have been known for historically. Back, like I
Right.
said, Purple People Eater days, the Millard, Dolman, Al Noga,
The Williams Wall.
Williams Wall, that kind of stuff.
We haven't had a true nose guard in forever, fuck's sake, either. So
No, I mean, you had Pat Williams, then you had, a couple other guys.
Linval Joseph there for a couple
Linball, yeah,
of years.
Linball was very solid when he was here. Had what's his name from the Ravens that was here for a year.
He wasn't much of anything. He's a balloon right now, but he really got huge.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name in my head either, but yeah, I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, but he kind of underwhelmed while he was here. But we've got the the makings here. Ant wants to talk about Theo Jackson.
I was hyping him up last week, Ant. I'm excited for him to get an expanded role on this defense too.
Yep, you're a little late to the party there, Ant. Brunswick has been tooting that horn for a couple of weeks here now. So, but yeah, he's looked good, and he's looked good. Prior to this year when he's gotten playing opportunities too. So I think he's ready to make that step, and I'm excited to see how he handles it when he gets into that more of a starter role. So speaking of safeties, though, there's another one here. Tavier Thomas, who is a cornerback by trade. The Vikings have actually had him up playing safety.
Oh wow,
quite a bit so far in training camp. And
that's
he's
not much of a hard transition either.
No, and he's more of a slot corner, so it makes it even a little bit easier. And so that there was some rumblings, at least early on here, that by him doing that, that might be more of a inside track for him to make the roster as a backup safety who can still roll in and play cornerback if necessary.
I'm really hoping that Jeff Okudah takes that Rod Woodson type of turn. When Rod Woodson came into the league, he wasn't that great either. And then he turned his career around and it ended up turning it into a Hall of Fame type of career.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the talent for Okudah was always there. I mean, he was a third overall pick, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But it just, situations and the injury bug completely stunted his career to this point. But
we just got him on a 1-year deal, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a 1-year prove-it deal. But, if we can get a career resurgence out of him for that 1 year, I mean, it's well worth it. And then if he goes somewhere next year, hopefully some of these young guys we've got are ready to step in and take that place. But
right,
that having that veteran presence in that secondary. I mean, granted, Murphy's a vet and Isaiah Rodgers is a vet, although he hasn't played a ton. Hasn't been a full-time starter.
He just hasn't been given the keys. So
right. So. But, it never hurts to have experience back there. And Okudah's not old by any means. What is he, 20?
I think he's 26. Yeah, 26.
So, he's still got plenty, a good 3-4 years in him if he can stay healthy. And
well, technically he should just be entering his prime. But, I mean, with
realistically,
the injury,
yeah. I mean, you start looking like Gilmore. I mean, he's 35 and he played decent last year. So, I mean.
And that's one of those rare cases where it's once in a blue moon that you get a player that can go that long into their career.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at Harrison Smith. I mean, him and Gilmore came out of the same draft class, and they're both still. Well, Gilmore, as of right now, is not playing, but Harry's still making a go. He had a really good play in practice today. He's
been having a hell of a training camp. Smith has so quietly having a pretty good training camp.
Yeah, so. Hopefully
he's a guy that you can count on being in the right place at the right time all the time. So,
yeah. I mean, is he the same Harrison Smith he was 5-6 years ago? No, absolutely.
But he's not a hindrance to the defense either. He's not making the defense.
Yeah, he's not a liability. That's the
right.
Thing. He's very smart, very cerebral. always knows where to be in the right position and knows where to get everybody else lined up in the right positions back there
This
too.
isn't the type of situation that the team's going to have to carry him to the Super Bowl. He'll be a big part of this defense. So,
remember Darryl Green from the Redskins?
oh yeah,
Absolutely,
fast
I do, George.
fast.
He played right in that era when I first really started watching.
Played for a
football,
long time too.
Yeah, he did, and I was a big Darryl Green fan when he played. I mean, truth be told, I was, there was a lot of players on those Redskin teams in the mid '80s that I really liked. Part of it was being a young kid, and they were winning Super Bowls back then. So John Riggins, Darryl Green,
I
you
was
had
going
the
to say, got
Hogs
to be
up
one of the
front.
fastest in the NFL of all time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Played into his 40. Yeah, I think he was 40.
Yeah. Into his 40s, I think.
Something like that. Yeah, early 40s when he finally hung it up. But yeah,
And he still played at a high level.
Yeah. No, he was a very good player for a very long time. So, and a guy I really enjoyed watching play. So, remember him quite fondly. Yes, I'm getting fucking old, but that's kind of where it is. Let's see. Any other things that you have from camp notes that we haven't talked about yet, Lance?
I think we've covered it pretty well. I guess Fry's had a nice little pancake there the other day too, so he's coming along quite swimmingly.
Yep, nice seeing him get up in there. And of course, when you got him and Kelly next to each other, the familiarity is there already. So that's
people don't need to be hitting that panic button on this offense. It's the defense is ahead of the offense right now, and the defense is just that damn good. So,
yeah. What about RB3? Haven't really heard much of anything about the running backs other than Jordan Mason looks as advertised so far. They're talking.
I think it's Chandler's job to lose, in my opinion. I think he has it until others have spoken otherwise.
It's
going to come down to the preseason there, Rhino. It's going to come down to the preseason games.
Yeah, I'm not convinced Chandler's on this team week 1.
Yeah, I think he's definitely on the bubble, but until somebody can step up and take it from him, I believe he's penciled in.
Well, I'm not so sure unless it's like what's his name, Trey Stewart or whatever his name is, the undrafted kid. That unless he can step up, I think RB3 probably is not currently on this roster.
There was something I had read about, and it wasn't Stewart that was looking good, but another running back that we brought in, a UDFA that's looked pretty good, that could possibly push Chandler for that 3 spot, but I can't recall the name. So, but it's good. That running back 3 spot's going to technically, I believe, truthfully, come down to the preseason games to see who pulls him out.
And if Ty Chandler can show that he's learned how to pass block, that would go a long way to
that's the big thing. Yeah,
that spot.
That is a huge thing when it comes to Chandler. Is his pass protection.
That's what got him in the doghouse before. And
there you go, Ant. That's the name.
Xavier Scott. Thanks, Ant. A lot of us the last couple of years, why isn't Ty Chandler getting more run? Why isn't Ty Chandler playing more? Well, the reason why Ty Chandler wasn't playing more is because Ty Chandler cannot pass block. And that is a big deal in Kevin O'Connell's offense. So,
right.
I hope he's figured it out. I like Ty Chandler. He's a good runner. He's got some pop to him.
How much of that confidence is still there, though, do you think? That's another thing with Chandler.
Yeah,
is that confidence? Maybe it changes senior. He's the best thing for him at this point.
Could be. Too big of a running back class this year. Yeah, Norris, that's a very good point. There's going to be a lot of good running backs that are going to be on the open market, whether it's some of the rookies that, didn't quite get it in a crowded field, or some of the still veterans that still have something left in the tank that get beat out by one of these rookies. I think there's going to be plenty of options for that running back 3, and that's one of the reasons why I think that RB3 is not on the roster right now. But time will tell. Like I said, we're 9 days away from the first game. You'll see that most of the ones that are going to play in the preseason, you're going to get your sight.
I don't know if it's so much him not having vision as it was not having anybody that could run block at a high level on this offensive line. When you got somebody like Jones that can make his own opportunities in the run game, that goes a long ways. But when you got a rookie coming in here trying to do the same thing, it's not going to work if you can't have the guys up front blocking correctly for him to open up holes. So I think that has a lot to
Yeah,
do with it.
I mean, there might be some of that to whether it's vision or patience or what it is, but we've seen that many times before too, where especially with a young running back, they get impatient waiting for that hole develops, and then they just try to go, and it doesn't work out well for them. And
but
I think
it's no secret here that the run blocking hasn't been where it needs to be the last 5 years. 3 years.
The blocking in general, because the pass blocking's been
Yeah.
worse than the run block. I mean, so hopefully that's fixed, and I expect much bigger things out of the running game this year, especially with Jordan Mason. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
I look for us to really wear teams out with that run game. So
yeah, and it's going to be with these two guys, you're going to have a true running back by committee kind of thing. It's not your thunder and lightning type that like Detroit has implemented with their guys, and so many other teams in the league are doing. You're not going to have to rely on Aaron Jones carrying the ball 350 times this year or anything like that. It's.
I think by the season's end, Mason's going to be the number one guy. So
I would not be surprised one bit. I think Mason. Well, I mean, we saw it last year with San Francisco when McCaffrey was out. I mean, the guy, he averaged 5.7 yards per carry last year. I mean, and he can hit those holes, and
he's not an easy guy to bring down by any means. You've seen what he did to our defense last year, and I'm so thankful San Francisco didn't stick with the run game that game, because I think they would have went on to beat us.
Very possible.
Mason was fucking knocking us around pretty bad to start that game, and they went away from him.
Yeah. Playoffs. I was hoping to win a game. Playoffs.
Right.
So anyway, we've been going on close to an hour here, not quite so, but it is also almost 11:30, and I do have to be up early in the morning. So you got anything else you want to hit?
I think we covered everything.
All right. So with that, I want to thank you guys all for joining us on a special late night episode. We'll be back to our normal time, 9:00 on Thursday next week, provided we don't have some scheduling flub-ups between now and then, but that's the plan. We'll be back with the latest and a full preview of the first preseason game, what we expect to see. We should have a pretty good idea by that point in time. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Join us live once again next Thursday. Shout out to the Filipino fan club. Shout out to all you guys again who stayed up late to watch with us tonight. And with that, why don't you take us out of here, Lance?
Yeah, everything Rhino just said. We love you guys. I love the comments that we get coming in here. Thanks to everyone that kind of agreed with some of my opinions tonight. Drew, I seen you out there saying a few things for me, so I appreciate that. I'm so excited for next Saturday. I can't hardly contain myself. I'm ready for the season to start. It was nice having that Hall of Fame game tonight and watching the Lions get their asses spanked tonight. I think, 34-7. Granted, it's just a preseason game, but hopefully it's foretelling of things to come in the future. So with that being said, I look forward to seeing you guys all next Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episodes of Vikings Uncensored. Millie and Aubrey, if you're watching, Dad loves and misses you. Skol.
Central Daylight Time, but have a good week, everybody.